For today, continuing my Chapter 2 Investigator deck review, we have Patel. Now, for those of you that are kind of wondering, what is this Andre? Patel first made his appearance in film Patel, the standalone scenario. It's kind of a neat thing that he shows up. He was a guy that we went to go help in Hollywood, got bored and decided he wanted to come to Arkham. And I think that is a great story thing. I imagine in future Investigator decks, if they continue doing this, that we will see some familiar faces from Chapter 1. And the idea and progression of how certain characters, how Jenny Barnes is dead and Izzy has taken her place, it makes the world feel more alive. It makes it feel like it has consequences. And if you remember the old L5R trading card game, they had these events where certain things were chosen by the community to affect the story. I kind of hope, and I really do wish, that when Arkham Knights happens, that this idea is integrated into affecting gameplay, Elder Ones. Like, that would be a fantastic thing to bring it together. I am happy that they have a character that's referenced from Chapter 1, even though it was a little late, but he's coming into Chapter 2. And it just, that feeling of growth and progression, it makes me actually really happy. Patel, the film star. Nothing about him really stands out different from regular rogues. Historically, rogues have always had terrible will. Their investigation ability has always been around 3. The skills that they really excel at are usually investigating, fighting, and foot. Patel is no different. The 2 will, 3 book, 2 fist, and 5 foot. It's very fitting, standard stat lines for rogues. Reaction ability: after you succeed at a skill test by 2 or more during your turn, you may take an additional action this turn, limit once per round. Elder Sign effect: +2, gain 1 resource. And his health is 7 and his brain is 8. The 5 foot allows him to evade very well. And it's basically he's getting a free action. His deck size is 30. Deck building requirements: straight rogue across with 0 to 5 neutral cards. Deck building requirements: know the exit, know the line, know the scene, weight of the world, and 1 random basic weakness. Yes, he has 3 extra cards that are his buffs. So the first of his signature cards, Know the Exit. It pitches for a wild. Patel deck only. While this card is committed to an attack or evasion, it gains 2 wild. Basically +3 for an attack or evasion. Know the Line. Patel deck only. Practiced. While this card is committed to a skill test on a scenario card, it gains 2 wild. 3 wild basically for what it is. The last card is Know the Scene. Pitches for wild, Patel. While this card is committed to investigation or parlay, it gains 2 wild. The thing I really like about Patel, especially with his 3 Know the Exit, Know the Line, Know the Scene, very fitting thematically for an actor, because these are things that they would know. Also, the art is actually really good on these. I love this black and white, this grainy film looking, and his facial details, it's very fitting. I think they did an outstanding job implementing his Hollywood skill set as an investigator. Here we have Weight of the World as his treachery. I love the idea of this card. Him being an actor, always in the spotlight, always have to expose and show himself off. But the insecurity is how you always have to be perfect because the world is watching, so it feels like the weight of the world is on you. It is a revelation effect. Put Weight of the World into play in your threat area. Forced, when you fail a skill test, while Weight of the World is in play, you take 1 horror and shuffle it back into your deck. It's always that creeping feeling of doubt that you're going to fuck up somewhere, and I think this is a perfect thematic weakness for an actor. The new basic, Treachery Unaware. It's a basic weakness. Revelation, put Unaware into play in your threat area. Forced, first time you would fail a skill test during your turn. Draw the top card of the encounter deck. If that card is an enemy, discard Unaware. I kind of like this weird, uncertain ambushing mechanic. I think it fits with Patel also because he's new to Arkham. He knows there's stuff going on, but he doesn't know the things to look for. So he's kind of like the rookie mode. If they continue this format too in Chapter 2, where the investigators can evolve into better versions of themselves, I think that's a really cool idea. Here we have one of the newer assets called Center Stage. Costs 3, pitches for nothing. It's a talent, limit 1 per investigator. Uses 3 renown, not secrets, not charges, renown. If there's no renown on Center Stage, discard it. As a fast action during a skill test, spend 1 renown, exhaust Center Stage. You get +1 skill value for each action you spent this round, including this one, if it is triggered during one of your actions. This has the potential to be really good with over-succeeding. If Andre Patel had access to like Leo DeLuca, this could be really disgusting. It's almost a guarantee to pass. I think it is a necessary card for Andre Patel. Here we have Fame. It's a 1-cost asset, pitches for a foot. It is a condition. Uses 4 renown. If there's no renown on Fame, discard it. As an action, if there's an enemy or location, spend 1 renown, parlay, gain 2 resources. It's pretty straightforward and handy. It's really easy. Just because it's a parlay, you're not going to get attacked, and it's going to give you those 2 resources. The question really comes down to what do you have that you can play as a fast action or another parlay effect that those 2 resources are going to help you with. Here we have the Grapevine. It's a 2-cost asset, pitches for a foot. Uses 3 rumors. If there's no rumors in the Grapevine, discard it. Action, spend 1 rumor, exhaust Grapevine. Parlay, choose an enemy at a revealed location up to 2 locations away. Move 1 location at a time along the shortest path to that enemy's location and engage it. You can use this in conjunction with Fame. It's parlays. I don't think it's super efficient. It does help, but Andre Patel does not feel like a really strong fighter. And it might just be helping to lock down things by evading. But moving up to 2 connections away for 1 action is a good action compression card. We have the Extravagant Ring. It's a 1-cost asset, pitches for a book. Item Charm, uses 3 renown. Reaction, when you succeed at a skill test, spend 1 renown, exhaust Extravagant Ring. You get +2 skill value for this test. It is an accessory, and it's kind of important in this deck, mainly because there's 2 really powerful accessories. I'm not exactly sure this is a must, but for 1 cost and +2 on a test, it is very powerful with Andre Patel. In fact, I'd say it's powerful for almost any investigator to take it. It costs no experience. It's good. Here we have the return of the classic Lockpicks. It's a 3-cost asset, pitches for a book. Action, exhaust, investigate, book, add your foot to your book for this test. If you do not succeed by at least 2, discard Lockpicks, takes up a hand slot. In general, you should be up 7. And this has been just a very good card that rogues have used for investigating. We have the ally Marcus and Stacky. It's a 3-cost asset, pitches for a will and a book. He's an ally and a patron. Gain 1 additional resource during your upkeep phase. And as a forced effect, if you fail a skill test, deal 1 horror to Marcus. 1 health, 2 sanity, takes a ally slot. I'm a little weirded out by this guy. This guy feels like that he should have existed with Preston Fairmont or some other big money rogue. It's like getting the additional resource during the upkeep phase is good. Rogues loves buying expensive things and doing flashy tests. And Marcus is a good way to help you increase that. I still don't know if I like his 1 health and 2 sanity. He'll last a turn at least, but he's not paying for himself until he survives 2 rounds. With all the stuff that Andre has access to, I think that there is a good chance he will survive a bit. Here we have the Polished Cane, 3-cost asset, pitches for a foot. As an action, fight with your fist, add foot to your fist for this attack. If this attack succeeds by 2 or more against a non-elite enemy, you may exhaust Polished Cane to automatically evade that enemy. Great action compression card. Reminds me of, I believe it is the Threaded Cane or Sword Cane Mystics had access to. This is a variant of it, and I think this is a really good card. Here we have Clean Sweep, 2-cost event, pitches for a book and a foot. Investigate with book, you get +2 book for this investigation. If you discover the last clue at your location, you may move to a connecting location. I'm more curious with this card of the Better Luck Next Time Love RS. I don't know who that is. I'm kind of curious if you guys do. Let me know in the comments. As far as getting the +2 book for the investigation, I don't know if it's worth 2 resources. And getting the extra move, yeah, if you finish up the last clue and go on. It's not terrible, but it's also not really good. I think it's a little overcosted. Here we have Pay Your Dues. It costs X. It pitches for a brain and a book. It is a parlay action. It's also under the favor, which they all do weird stuff like this. Choose a non-elite enemy or location with X remaining health. That enemy disengages from each investigator and gains aloof until end of the round. Discover 1 clue at your location. It's pretty much a bribe. It's very fitting. I like the card. And it's just a fun little thing to do if you have a lot of cash. Here we have Quick Exit, 2-cost event, pitches for a brain and a foot. Evade, you get +2 foot for this evasion. If successful by 2 or more, The evaded enemy is non-elite. That enemy does not ready during the next upkeep phase. Strong card, especially if you need to lock something out and keep it out of everyone's hair. Pretty easy to do with Andre. Honestly, it's gonna be a 7 test. You should be able to succeed fairly simply, but he has all the other buffing things. Very, very good for enemy management. Here we have a sudden fall, 2-cost event, pitches for a fist or a foot. Fight with the fist, get +2 for this attack. If targeted enemy is exhausted, this attack deals +1 damage. I'm really happy that Rogue's got access to a version of Vicious Blow that thematically fits, especially with the sudden fall being on an exhausted enemy. It is a good card. I think this is better for characters like Finn Edwards, because he always had a free evade action, and he kind of wanted to fight too and investigate. But it's very fitting, it works well. It also fits the trend of now the rogues being into this super, they want to always succeed by 2 or more. Right under their noses, 2-cost event, pitches for will or book. Fast, play after you successfully evade an enemy, discover 1 clue at your location. If you succeed by 2 or more, you may discover 1 clue at a connecting location instead. The fact that it's a fast action and a free clue is nice. With the option, and I say option if you succeed by 2 or more, discover clue at a connecting location instead, really good for managing low shroud to high shroud areas. There is an upgraded version that I think is much better, but this is still a very good card for a level 0 card. We have Easy Street, a skill that pitches for a wild. Commit only to a skill test you're performing, max only 1 committed per skill test. Easy Street gains 1 wild for every 3 resources you have, maximum of 3. Now, these cards are kind of wonky, especially with the rogues, because money is very fluid in this game, or resources, I should say. There are times, especially if you build rogues right, they are supposed to be the big money guys. This is a card that can see really good potential, especially if you've had time to build up your cash flow. I don't know fully yet the potential of how fast this deck can build up resources. Here is Out the Door. Skill test, pitches for a foot and a wild. After Out the Door is committed to a skill test, the performing investor gains 2 resources. If the skill test fails, that investigator loses 2 resources. Another good Andre Patel card. It's going to add 2 to his evades. Rogues pretty much evade all day. Easy way to get some free cash. Here is Watch This. This is a reprint from Chapter 1. Pitches for a will, a fist, and a foot. Commit to a skill test you're performing. As an additional cost, commit Watch This. Spend up to 3 resources. If you succeed by 1 or more, gain twice that many resources. This has always been a very powerful and fun card with rogues, and it kind of guarantees it, especially when they're doing things where they have a natural 5 stat line. It's a fairly low risk, but you always do want to, invest 3 to get 6. Good card, fun, thematic, flashy. Here we have the upgraded lockpicks. It costs 1 XP, 3 resources, pitches for a book, uses 3 supplies. If there are no supplies on lockpick, discard it. It allows you to fail some tests. Action, exhaust lockpicks, investigate, book, add your foot to book to this investigation. If you do not succeed by at least 2, remove 1 supply from lockpicks. Feels a lot better, especially when you just have those moments you draw the autofill. Definitely worth it for the 1 experience, just for that extra insurance. The upgraded Out the Door pitches for a foot and a wild. The change has been, it's after Out the Door has been committed to a skill test, the investigator gains 4 resources. If the test fails, that investigator loses 4 resources. Doubling up the resource, I wouldn't say it's really doubling up the loss, because if you don't have the cash, you don't have the cash. Here we have the upgraded level 2 Grapevine, costs 2 XP, costs 2 resources, pitches for a book or a foot, uses 3 rumors, no rumors on the Grapevine, discard it. Action, spend 1 rumor, exhaust the Grapevine, parlay, choose an enemy at revealed location up to 3 connections away, move 1 location at a time to the shortest path to that enemy's location, engage it, and draw a card. And that's really the change. You get 1 extra range out of it, and you get a free card draw. As far as most card games go, drawing cards is always good. Arkham has added the whole, weakness and treachery things that pop up, and sadly, every time you draw one of those, you have to play them. You don't have a choice unless it's like a search. Once you draw it, you're kind of stuck with it. The efficiency of moving farther away for 1, definitely good. You're still getting action compression out of it. It does cost 2 XP. I don't know if it's too expensive for what it does. The card is very handy with certain investigators, but it's one of those cards that also is better with prior knowledge, especially if you played through a campaign or a scenario and you understand where things are going to be. And with that, it's kind of like, well, I know it's going to work good here, but it might be bad in something that I go to playing blind. Upgraded Marcus and Stacky. Pitches for a will or a book. Same effect, gain 1 additional resource during the upkeep phase. Same forced effect. If you fail a skill test, deal 1 horde of Marcus and Stacky. The only difference is that his sanity went from 2 to 3. Still takes up the ally slot. Nothing's really changed. Oh, I should say he also got reduced in cost. Now, if he survives, 1 round, he's paid for himself. Slight insurance here that says that he's going to live a little bit longer. I still don't think he's that great of an ally. Upgraded clean sweep, 2 cost, 2 XP, pitches for 2 book, really 3 book. Investigate with foot, add book to your foot value for this test. After this test resolves, you have been moved to a connecting location. Biggest change is the investigate action has gone to a foot instead of a book from the original version. It's really if your foot value is better than your book value. I still feel like the +2 book value you get from the normal one makes it worth it. I don't really think I like this that much. It's more of what your skills are that fits this. I do think this does give a flexibility in deck building though, if you are playing someone like Trish or any other investigator rogue that is a seeker rogue. It gives you some flexibility in what you want to do, but I still think it's a little high for 2 XP. Upgraded quick exit, 2 cost, 2 XP, pitches for 2 will and a wild. Evade foot test, add your will to your foot for this test. If you succeed, the evaded enemy is non-elite. That enemy does not ready during the upkeep phase. Biggest difference is icons, and you're using your will instead of your +2 foot. I think the +2 foot is a lot better. This is one of those weird wonky cards that just adds to like a guardian rogue mix. Someone with higher will than foot to offset that. I think the level 0/1 is still kind of better just for rogues, straight across rogues. This is the Black Fan. This is a reprint from Chapter 1. This is a fun card, except it's ridiculously expensive, but nowhere as expensive as the card at the end. 3 cost asset, 6 XP because it's exceptional, which means it's going to cost double the XP. So 3 XP is 6. Pitches for a book, a foot, and a wild. While you have 10 plus resources, you get +1 health and +1 sanity. If you have 15 plus resources, you may take an additional action during your turn. If you have 20 plus resources, you get +1 to each of your skills. And you're going to get all these effects if you can meet all the requirements. It takes up a hand slot, which is kind of odd, but the bonuses you get, and it's kind of a hard thing to pull off if you're not really making a lot of money. This wants you to have cash all the time, and because of that, you might not be playing events or assets, allies, anything that actually can help you over the long term of the game. This was part of the big money Preston decks. There's been a lot of cards that show that Andre Patel has potential to make money. This is the upgraded Sudden Fall, 2 XP, cost 2, pitches for 2 fists and a wild. The fight action has changed to foot. Add your fist to your foot for this test. If target enemy is exhausted, this attack deals +2 damage. So we still have the requirement for this test to do bonus damage that the enemy is exhausted. The biggest difference is rogues pretty much have the average fist value, but they have a really high foot, so it puts you at 8. Compared to the old one, you'd probably be around like 4 or 5. Is it worth the extra cost? Maybe. Again, this is another one of those weird cards that are better suited for level 0 of a split class. Here we have Silver Tongue. It's a 2 cost, 3 XP asset. Pitches for a book, a foot, and a wild. It's a talent. It has the starting trait. Fast action, spend 1 resource to get +1 book for this skill. +2 instead if it's an evasion or parlay, which is important because seekers love using book for parlay. And then as a fast action, spend 1 resource, get +1 foot for the skill test. +2 instead if this is for an evasion or parlay, which helps the rogue. I like these cards. I think they're good. You just got to build around them. Here's Well Connected. This is a reprint from Chapter 1. I don't remember if Well Connected Chapter 1 was 1 XP. I think this is an upgraded version of it, but I'll put the card up. 2 cost, 3 XP. Pitches for a book or a foot. Condition, limit 1 per investigator. Fast action, exhaust Well Connected. You get +1 skill value for this test for every 4 resources you have. Fast action, spend 2 resources. Ready Well Connected. Limit once per round. Really good for the rogue big money archetype, especially if you get that 20 and do the Black Fan. That's +5, really. That's disgusting. Upgraded right under their noses. 2 cost, 3 XP, event. Pitches for will, book, wild. Fast action, play after you successfully evade an enemy. Discover 1 clue at your location. If you succeed by 2 or more, you may discover 1 clue at a connecting location as well. And that is the key difference between the level 0/1. The may discover 1 clue at a connecting location as well. So action compression, get 2 clues. Contingency. A 3 XP skill that pitches for double wild. While contingency is committed to a skill test targeting an enemy, after revealing chaos tokens, you may spend 3 resources to cancel a revealed token, return it to the chaos bag, and reveal a new one. You may do this any number of times. I actually think this is a great card for rogues. I love the idea of it. The art is very fitting, especially on the fly, threatening, whatever. Very rogue-like mentality. Now, it's really cool because usually when you draw the autofill, you're just done. But if you have the resources and you really need it to push through on that test, especially if you're looking to hit a certain number or a certain trigger with a certain token icon, the fact that it's 3 XP and it costs 3 to do every time, it's a little rough. But you do have the 2 wild icons to make up for it. I don't know if it's a must for every rogue card, but I do like this card. And here we have the Red Clock. This is another reprint from Chapter 1. This is one of my favorite cards for the Rogue Class too. It is pitches for 2 wild, it is a 2 cost, and it's exceptional, so it's 10 XP is a lot for a card. It's a ridiculous requirement, but this card is incredibly powerful. Forced, after your turn begins, you may take all charges here as resources, which means you're getting money for them. Place 1 charge here. If it has exactly 1 charge, you get plus 4 skill value to your next skill test. 2 charges, you may move up to 3 times. 3 charges, you may take 2 additional actions this turn, and it's an accessory. You can pretty much see why it's a good card. It is very expensive, but if you can get it out, the fact that it costs 2, yeah, it's not going to do anything the turn it comes out, but the next turn you'll get plus 4, and you can constantly just get plus 4 to 1 test, or you can build it up. But it helps you with resource generation and passing actions. Just gives you everything. It's also a little bit more selective. You can kind of plan it out what you're going to do the next move or for your next turn. I've loved this card. When I saw it, I thought it was ridiculous when I first saw it, and then of course they gave you the upgraded one also. The fact that they've included this in Andre Patel, he does have a lot of cards that give money. The efficiency of it is always the problem, but he doesn't really have a lot of weapons. And it feels like he wants to just evade and kind of lock people down. What do I think of Andre Patel? Well, Dapper Dan over here is good at evading, over-succeeding, gambling, but not so great at fighting. He's kind of a flex investigator where he wants to be doing cloovering, getting clues, and pulling off rogue shenanigans. He can do some damage, not enough to really say that he's going to help a Guardian a lot in fighting, but he can help a Guardian in keeping things at bay with his evasion. He's more than likely going to be able to get that extra action every turn just from evading and running around. And thematically, I think this is one of the best investigators I've seen theme-wise. Being an actor, having the 3 effects that he has to know the situations to play them in, very spot on. Weakness, incredible design on the weakness, just the theme. This guy is one of the better thematic investigators, and I really like that design. As far as he plays, I think he might be a little boring for people that are looking for more interaction, but because he really kind of feels like a clover most of the time, I don't think he's bad. I like that bringing outsiders from Arkham into the Arkham universe. I think that's a good idea. I really want to see more investigators. I hope they do like another set of Chapter 2 investigators. I do wish that they went back to the box format because it's kind of expensive buying these for like $20 a piece. But he's a greatly well-designed investigator. The art's a little weird. The coloring's a little weird. He is a rogue. He's in Hollywood, so, you know, obviously he's doing some shady stuff. If you like the idea of a flex investigator that mainly is to do some type of enemy control with resource gathering and clues, I think Andre Patel's your guy. His easy access to money, clues, and evasions. The only thing that's probably going to be the big hang-up is going to be will tests. He does have 8 sanity, which helps much better than most rogues, but I'm also noticing a trend that these guys are getting more health and sanity than they usually do. In their stats, they're trying to make them more even. I believe Fantasy Flight is trying to develop more balanced scenarios that aren't going to be super lopsided towards a will test past treacheries. They've said it before in Chapter 1, they're going to stop doing that, but they still kind of fit with will. Having these hybrid cards that allow you to mix certain stats with other stats to replace and augment some things, I think that's also another good design. I expect to see more characters like Andre Patel in the future. That's been the review for Andre Patel and his investigator deck. I'm still doing the 2026 giveaway. I am giving away a full set of the Arkham Chapter 1 investigator decks. Check out my video for details on how to win. Other than that, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and GG's.